Hey everyone, thanks for coming back. It's been a while since I last recorded a video. Yeah, life just got in the way, but pen's out, so yeah, thought I would do something new and take a look at CC. I think since the format and the spoilers happened, most people have been focused on Sage, especially with the like calling in London and then San Diego, plus early uh, PTQs being Sage focused. But CC's around the corner. We've got Toulouse in a few weeks, and after that, like the PTQs move to the CC format. Um, Obviously, I'm a big fan of Pirate Heroes. Played Marlin quite a lot in LL format. She actually turned out to be pretty good there. And at the time, I was thinking, "Well, why isn't this deck good in CC?" Obviously, you don't have Cash In and a few of the other like high powerful cards that really push her over the top in LL format. But yeah, I knew she was close, and I think with the new cards in Compendium of Rathe, we might actually be like there to where Marlin's a competitive deck. Certainly once a few of the like very top decks that are close to LLing move out. So let's talk about what Marlin got in this set. So Marlin got two key cards that I'm running in my deck. The first one, Cheating Scoundrel. This looks like the normal kind of Ranger style +3 buff. Um, get some kind of bonus on the back end or do something else. But actually, the gold generation here is huge for Marlin. Like, she really needs a gold every turn to load her bow, um, or interesting ways to cycle that back out. So, yeah, this adds a lot. Generally, the +3 with the overpower pushes you over to the point where it's very hard for your opponent to block. And if they are blocking, they're giving up their turn almost to block out the arrows. So you're kind of happy because you buy yourself the time to reload, set up another turn, and go again. Other major thing that I would notice about this +3 that makes it better than all the others is the block value of 3. So most Ranger +3s are block value 2, and just having that extra block value on your reds when you know you're not going to go off that turn just lets you avoid on hits. Yeah. So, and the other big card, and this one is probably the one that really changes the needle, is a new harpoon that essentially has CNC printed on it without the anti-defense reacts. Um, yeah, firstly, this is sorry, yellow. So really helps because you can pitch it quite a lot, and with your tunic, you get to your 6 resources. We'll talk about that more in a second. It's power 5, so 9 overpower. Basically, once a couple of pieces of armor are gone, it becomes very hard for your opponent to block out without giving us a lot. Um, so yeah, strong card. And then finally, the reason this card is so good is the combo with Codex of Frailty. This is classic kind of assassin game plan where you activate your Codex, get this back, destroy their arsenal. You're always taking a card off your opponent and making them play back-footed. And I guess that's really the key of the deck. Like Marlin probably rewards people who know the format well enough to know which harpoons are going to matter the most, and when they look at someone else's hand, how to take that hand apart. So yeah, it's kind of like the classic Thoughtseize in Magic. Like, it's not always like the most obvious card to take out of their hand, but if you know what the correct card is, often you can just destroy people's whole turns. You also get the information to know how to block correctly on your turn, and whether you need to like block out or just send a huge arrow back. So yeah, let's talk about some of the other choices in the deck. So the first thing I would say is this doesn't look like a budget-friendly deck with 3 pieces, 3 fables in it. These aren't required. Like I would happily play 3 blues that block 3 in place of these, and sometimes like they might even be better. Riches definitely can screw you up for being a yellow, but making a gold and being able to activate your hook for free is nice. Authority again can screw you up for not blocking, but yeah, making D reacts cost more. And then obviously having the opt to try and draw to your arrows when it matters, um, is really nice. But I, if you're just getting into Marlin or even just getting into Flesh and Blood as a game, I would not rush out to get these 3. I would just play 3 blues that block 3. Um, yeah, in the future. Let's talk about how the deck likes to operate. Essentially, every turn, you want to have 2 blues in your hand and a harpoon of some description. Often we want to prioritize harpoons that target our enemy's deck, so we know if they have lots of attacks, we want the king shark. If they have lots of blues, we want the bluefin, etc. We try and shoot these every turn with overpower and +4. Um, so you want 2 blues and a harpoon, plus a way to get it into your arsenal. So often that's a gold. We use the gold to draw a card, and then whenever you draw a card with Marlin, you get to load an arrow face up in your arsenal. Often when you're drawing the card up, that will be a blue again or a yellow, so you can just pitch it to pay the extra cost of that draw up. When we get to go big on turns, we like to have those arrows with pumps. So we've got Cheating Scoundrel, Take Aim, which is it's definitely a choice. I like having the free reload. This means you don't have to waste gold. Um, it also means on your three of a kind turns, you can really go off because this lets you, if this is in your arsenal, this lets you load a card to your arsenal, and three of a kind says you can play cards from your arsenal. So if you've got this in your arsenal, play three of a kind, you can then play this, reload this into your arsenal, and still do your pumps with all the extra cards. So quite a powerful ability there. But it probably does have less value than something like a Lace with Bloodrot, for example, where you get the +2 damage on the backside if that arrow hits. I am favoring consistency at the moment, and more testing will tell me if this is correct or not. Big game trophy shot, so we often use this with Marlynn's ability. You activate Marlynn, turn a gold into a goldfin harpoon. You then pay 2, draw a card, discard the goldfin harpoon, and you've basically got a +4 buff. Plus, you've drawn and discarded to let you load up your arrows into your arsenal. Codex, we talked more about the combo with shallow water harpoon, but also Codex +2 blues with any card in your discard pile arrow lets you go discard pitch my 2 blue to activate Hammerhead harpoon, play Codex. I now have no cards in hand. Put an arrow back in. I've got the 2 resources flowing. Shoot the arrow. So you get a 10 overpower 3-card hand, which is quite powerful, especially when you're like apply your on hits as additional value. One card I'm not 100% sure on right now is Gold the Tip. It's very nice at being a yellow. This lets it like, yeah, moves it up from other ones, but we very rarely get the make a gold ability on it. So it might be better to be a red one again, where like Lace with Blood Rot is essentially 5 value if you get the on hit. Anything else? So quiver wise, I'm not really sure if any of the quivers matter this much. I've been playing Abyssal Depths because this allows the fatigue matchup to be quite easy. But yeah, and it just lets you pitch away when you've just got extra cards in your hand, potentially from a 3 of a kind turn, etc., and just juice your deck up some more arrows. Sea Sarong, mostly here for the Blade Break 2, but the Go Again is quite useful in matchups with permanents on board. So if you're playing a Gravy, for example, being able to turn your blue arrows into Go Again to kill their allies and then still send something at their face, quite powerful. Gold Baited Hook, yeah, this card, you basically can't use it too often until their armor's broken, but the second the armor's broken, or you've got to about 2 or 3 gold, you just start using this every single turn and you're not too worried about losing it. Essentially, like, because we're always trying to take cards off the opponent, um, if they're having to block their hand out to stop this for a turn, that gives you another turn to set up, potentially put buffs out and just keep the tempo in your favor. And then we've got Tunic just to smooth out turns where we don't draw 2 blues. Potentially we've got a yellow. This is obviously good with the Richer Tropicani. Yeah, just a solid card Tunic. And not many other great chests. Trench It might be good. Haven't had a chance to test that out too much. Just going through, so blues, similar to when we talked about the Fables, I've got some cards in here like Ripple Away. Not really needed, just testing it for the Assassin matchup right now. I'm playing Drill Shot because it costs nothing and it potentially has the best on hit in terms of just reducing armor down for our opponents. Have been enjoying playing with this card. Catch of the Day. This was a crazy kind of print for Marlynn. Doesn't look that kind of exciting. It's only a +2, but it's blue and it lets you trigger your Go Fish twice, which against some decks can be really good. Got 3 Sunken Treasures. This lets us generate gold on defense and just has a massive plus side against Gravy if you play against him. Golden Tipple is probably the last card we'll discuss from the main deck. I'm not sure this is needed. You very often don't want to pay the one resource, and it's only block 2. But at the moment I'm playing it, I do want to test some other cards in this space, like Saltwater Swell Blue. That could be good, especially when you combine it with something like Ivorphidia. Um, Anything else I want to test here? Overcrowded is the other card I'm looking to test. So we'll move down into sideboard. Uh, we've got our battering bolt for our reaction heavy decks. Obviously, overpower only stops them blocking with actions, so they can often block us out quite a lot. And when we play something like battering bolt, they basically just have to give us their whole hand. Drop the anchor. This is more gravy hate. Yeah, just also very good into other matchups where the hero requires to tap. something like RKO, for example, especially a deck like that that wants to block you quite a lot. Tar Pit Trap, this is just, in there as a catch-all against decks that like to go again with good on-hits on their cards. Probably play this against the Assassins, where, like Slippy, for example. Amulet of Echoes, this is the Acilio hate. We get to play any kind of blue hate cards we want, and we'll see some more of those below. Throw Caution to the Wind. I've got this as kind of answer to Acilio again, but also Verdance and a few of the other decks. It's nice to have that kind of blue D react. Enchanted Quiver, probably just for Verdance at the moment. I would bring it into Acilio. Like I said earlier, our Quiver isn't that important in the matchup. So against Acilio, it's just +1 Spell Void. That could really do some help. And then the classic Null Ruin Boots. I probably want to also play Trench in this. I'll have to find some space for it. Probably drop the Anchor. That probably gives us 5 hate cards for Gravy, which is probably enough given his state at the moment. Finally, just some cards for consideration. Endless Arrow. You can try and fatigue Gravies out with this. I'm not a massive fan of the combo, but or like trying to play that fatigue style against a deck like Gravy, but it is interesting just to be able to cycle it through over and over again. Fire in the Hole and Shifting Tides. So this is a combo a lot of people are playing. You set up Shifting Tides, arsenal the Fire in the Hole, and then next turn you try and double activate your crossbow. I think it's a bit win more. If you've got space to do those kind of plays, you're probably winning the game by just sending 8 overpower arrows repeatedly at the opponent anyway. I wouldn't, yeah, I haven't tested it, but to me, it wouldn't, doesn't get me like super excited about what the potential is. Arcane Compliance, I hear from my Cilio friends, this is the real hate card you want to play against them, especially with Spell Cilio on the scene, so it's consideration. And I guess the last couple of cards we'll talk about are High Currency. I've heard a lot of like good things about this card, being able to make 2 gold off the back of a tunic. I think it's really hard to know when your opponent's gonna go for it or have a tunic in their deck even. So I'm not sure about it yet, but it is a blue block 3, so we probably have space to fit it in if you don't have some of the cards or your meta doesn't have assassins, for example. And then the last card, Overcrowded, I've potentially thinking about this for, again, assassins, just being able to bounce this back on their Codex of Frailties and just immediately block out their Leave No Witnesses or whatever attack they kind of decide to send at you. The one thing that can happen here, though, is they just decide not to attack you, and then you've got an Overcrowded in your arsenal. So probably not good enough at the moment, but I do think it's an interesting blue that can get you value in blocking situations. Okay, that's the deck. Let's jump into some games. Okay, guys, our first matchup is against Verdance, Thorn in the Rose. They've chose to go first. It's actually not a matchup I've played that much, so we'll just do some quick switches. I think I want AB2. Probably don't need to drop the Anchor, Amulets. Throw Caution's probably good enough. These Sunken Treasures won't do loads. These Ripple Aways definitely won't, actually. So we'll cut those. And yeah, we'll take a run at it like this. Let's see how it goes. Oh, love the new animations on here. Definitely want to pitch to this. We'll just get rid of this port side. Again, just blocking out the one. Pretty good first turn from Verdance there. A lot of unblockable damage. Okay. In this situation, we're going to send our Murderous Rabble. It lets us see what's on top and we can make a decision there. We're not really too worried if we don't get 3 damage out of it, but we've got 2. I think at this point, we're just happy to play 3 of a kind. Interestingly, our opponent has Stonewall Gauntlets, not the new Earth Gloves, which I've heard from a lot of Verdances are very good. Okay, we get to load this King Kraken Harpoon and actually recover into a pretty reasonable turn here. I'm going to activate this and then send this in for the 10 overpower. Okay, it looks like we're getting armor on turn 1 from our opponent, which is always nice. Yeah, we got 4 armor. Losing the crown here as well is quite important for the longevity of our game in terms of taking cards off our opponent and using those harpoons to destroy their arsenal. Looks like we're still getting the on here. Oh no, there you go. Okay, and we're going to arsenal this pump. Yeah. All right, we're going to AB0 this turn. Okay, so they're just going through the classic. Quite a lot of damage out there, and that's 2 of the 6s already. Going to just send a good bluefin harpoon at this turn, but +6 to it, so going to be reasonably hard for our opponent to block out. Plus the +4 from this. So this is a 14 powered overpower bluefin. And taking blues off Verdance is really important, especially if they're just on this send 6 game plan. One thing I would say is their hands, they probably can just block 1 blue card, and I won't get any on hits with this. But we're okay with that as long as we take some cards out of their hand. Also don't have a lot of earth cards. We've got 1 earth card in the graveyard so far to block with. Okay, they're giving us a red. Alright, well, so all reds. It looks like they're very spell heavy. I expect to see this next turn, Arsenal the Tree or Arsenal the Spindle. Surprised he didn't block with this tree. As you can see, even though they're sending pure arcane damage, we're kind of close to keeping up in the race. This hand is not great for us. Probably need to go back and play Throw Caution to the Wind. I haven't played with this card in a while, so just forgetting how it works on Talishar, but there you go, we managed to block 3 of the arcane damage. And I think here we just send the red fin harpoon. Actually seeing this on top of our deck made me like having Throw Caution even more. Fortunately, 8 probably isn't enough at the moment to start gold-baited hooking, even though we've got most of the armor out of the way, or all the armor. This deck does have a lot of D-reacts, and we have to be a little bit careful about getting caught with one. Probably once we get to the 12, 13 kind of damage, we'll start gold-baited hooking, because then they need multiple D-reacts. Also now just got our Tunic plus Null Room boost for the next piece of our AB. Okay, taking a red out of his hand. This will probably be the hand where he's got 3 blues, but just how it goes. Yep. And this is a nice turn from our opponent. So like I said before, sometimes the arrows just don't line up correct against the hands, but we still take them, like we're still sending through good damage. Okay, so this is a good one for us because we're going to get to make a gold on our opponent's turn, which means we can load our crossbow. Otherwise, we were going to have to do some very janky stuff to get our crossbow loaded. So as usual, probably going to bottom this. Just want to make sure I'm landing arrows the next few turns. We'll get this in there. Overload it. 9 Nine's close. I think we probably are going to do that. We know this is a blue in his arsenal, so it's not a D-react. So I think this is time for us to start generating gold. We're getting a little bit tight on being able to load cards. I think I still get the gold off gold baited hook even under ripple away. I'm about to find out. We don't. That's a shame. Now we lose our hook. But good learning there. Wow, big turn from our opponent. Now we're right in the kill range, I guess. Again, they've decomposed 0 cards. They're losing their tree. See how this turn goes. So we're going to discard the Destroy Arsenal Harpoon to load this. Unfortunately, we did draw a red here. So luckily we got one more out on breaking our gold. Drew another red. Okay, so now we're just going to send the 9 overpowered arrow. We're going to use Tunic just so we can have an arrow set up in our arsenal next turn. Okay, we're going to presume our opponent has no attacks after using those two. Or certainly isn't showing as an attack, I guess, without overpower. It's a very spell-heavy version of Verdance, which is quite cool. I think at this point we will use the quiver to guess we hold out. We're very much in a kill zone here for our opponent. So we're going to activate Marlynn. Okay, it looks like our opponent's going for it. And at 7, it's probably... Don't know if our extra ones got them or not, but be interesting. We probably still need to play this to make sure we are killing them this turn. But it is funny. Okay, so the issue we've got now is if we activate this and send this, we have no resources flowing, and our opponent probably planned to play kill us from here. So we're going to go for it. I think if we don't put lethal on the stack against them, we are definitely dead if they get to untap. So this is a 14 power overpowered harpoon. There's the snapback. That's what kills us. Couldn't hold the resource, unfortunately. Yeah, if we'd drawn a blue there, I think we'd be okay, having the one extra card. But yeah, probably should have guessed snapback there for killers. But close game. They wouldn't have been able to block us out there. The 14 damage, he didn't have enough. So yeah, on to the next one. Okay, guys, next game is against Huntsman. We're just going to play 2 tar pit traps and let's see how this goes. Always got to read their cards because Huntsman just has so many wild and weird cards. I'm going to take the 1 off this. Probably okay with blocking 2 arrows. Going to take 1 and let him mill some cards out. We've got this quiver. Okay, interesting starting hand. It's what we like to do often. And Golden Tipple, like I said in the kind of intro video, it's not great in a lot of matchups, but cycling this to make another gold and then let us get free hook activation, quite strong. Gonna not load that right now. So we're going to play this turn a little bit safer than we could. So we could 3 of a kind, draw up and see where it goes, or we can go activate Hammerhead like this. Play the Codex. And now we get back one of these 2 arrows we blocked on turn 1. Against Arakni, we're going to get back the bluefin. It's probably not going to hit a card, but yeah, we'll see how it goes. We've generated gold, so we're okay to swing with this. And let's send in the bluefin harpoon. So that turn I could have gambled the 3 of a kind, tried to hit one of the big harpoons on top. But I felt like setting up the ponder and also frailtying my opponent's daggers for next turn when I'm sending an overpower attack is nice. A lot of the way Arakni can convert his bigger hands is using these daggers. So yeah. Can't imagine him getting double D-reacted unless the second D-react blocks 3. Otherwise he wouldn't have put the mask down. Oh, okay, it's an inertia trap. Inertia, not so bad for us with ponder because we get to choose the order of the triggers. So we'll have the inertia go first and then draw up off the ponder. So that's worked out great, especially another great reason not to have played the 3 of a kind. So we do it like this. And then, yeah, great card for us to Arsenal. Now we're just set up. We're 1 resource short, but like I said before, we don't mind. And these 0, because of frailty, can just pass through. Like I said, it's hard for them to convert hands without the daggers. Sponsor's coming in for 1. I think we just give this here. nice just to block out their one attacks with things for free. Okay, on this turn we decide if we use one of these pumps. We're going to use this game really could go to second cycle if our opponent draws his D-reacts at the right time. So I think we will use the gold the tip. Doesn't really make a difference, but just good to know which ones to use. Opponent's armor's looking pretty low. They've got 1, 2. Again, this deck plays so many D-reacts that I just don't want to risk the hook this early in the game. We probably at some point have to start keeping account of his D-reacts. But right now, we've got through 2. I imagine we're somewhere in the 16 kind of area. And how these games tend to play out is every turn we will be doing 3 to 5-ish kind of damage over the course of the game. And it just adds up. They don't get to send a lot back, and when they do, we can kind of block away our 3 blocks that don't do much, like our sunken treasures. That just generates a little bit of value on the back end. Okay, so if he's letting us hit for 13, well, he might even have more than 16 D-reacts with multiple oasises. Luckily, he didn't get to gain the life off them. So he's probably just attacking us for 4 next turn. Yeah, we're okay with this. Like I said before, we just get to use things like Sunken Treasure now to generate value on the back end. We probably do just have to let them banish cards every now and again, but that's not the worst for us. We'll turn our gold to tip face down. Don't have a way to get any of the yellows back in our deck apart from this guy with the quiver. So now gets to banish 2 cards. Okay, a couple of harpoons is nasty for us, but the deck's now sitting on around 20 harpoons, 18. So it's quite a lot. They can't banish them all, really. Okay, let's draw up. We know this isn't a D-react in his arsenal, so we do want to send the shallow. Again, it's another time I could risk the hook, but if we get the on hit, we're already going to generate a gold because he's not going to be able to get this out of his arsenal. That we don't want to just risk not getting the on hit. And we're now already close. We probably want to wait till we've got King, Shark, Harpoon, but we will just shuffle back this, and the King, Shark, Harpoon back into our deck to have an extra 21 damage. Plus the Harpoon adds another 12 to that. So really we're just adding 33 damage back into our deck with this quiver, which for a fatigue deck is probably an unsurmountable. Presume we're getting 2 4 blocks here, but when you see Fateful Scene, you kind of know that your opponent's going to be on Sink Belows and Shelter from the Storms. So that's at least 12, 16 with these. Okay, we did get the on hit. They only blocked for 1. Probably means he wants to use the boost next turn. But we will take our on hit gold and be happy about that. Okay, we've got our tar pit traps, so we could probably lay a trap here. Rob the rich. We're going to pass. And now we hit them with the tar pit trap. I think this doesn't work how we want it to. These are on hit. Yeah, I think our opponent gets to stack the triggers exactly how he wants. Yeah, that's a good area for them to hit. This will gain +2, and if he's got any attack reacts that do real bonuses. I think our next turn we probably just want to arsenal this and pass the turn through. Maybe send a Modus Rabble. So I'm tempted to block with this Catch of the Day, send the Modus Rabble, and just set up for the following turn. Arakni is one of the fatigue decks that really converts his hands quickly. Surprised our opponent hasn't used these gloves yet to start cycling back the two. Codex of Frailty. Does our opponent have a Leave No Witnesses in their graveyard? They don't, but they're going to be able to bring back one of these cards. Okay. Got to really decide what we value here. It could just be a little golden tipple, generate a gold next turn, take another point of armor off him, which will be useful for us in the long run. And we'll just play that off the tunic and then set up a different arsenal for ourselves. In fact, the frailty makes that play not great. Yeah, let's just bring back King Kraken Harpoon and discard this big game. I'm going to let our opponent discard the top card of our deck here. Alright, losing a couple of big game trophy shots, kind of annoying. We do have interesting play here, so we could crack a gold, and then use the tunic, but it'd have to be blue on top. I think that's pretty big risk for losing all of our gold in a situation. So I'm just going to send this Murderous Rabble. It is a 1 on top. Actually, probably would have got us there because of it being a 3 of the kind. So the 1 blue would have drawn us 3 cards, and then we could have potentially got our opponent. But again, I think it's a high risk, high reward. Actually, yeah, it would have just got us there with the tunic. But this is an interesting hand in itself. I think this could potentially be a turn we let our opponent do a lot of damage to us. They fat stacked into us though, 66 plus another 5, so there were 71 cards coming into this game. Like I said before, we're probably seeing 3 Fate, 3 Sinks, 3 Shelters, 3 Oasis, 3 Hunt the Hunter, and then some number of traps. So our opponents rewound the game. They've used 2 to get back the Black Tech Whisperers, so they want to have a go again attack this turn. I think we're on the no block time. We want to send them back into blocking. We took a turn off. I think this banishes the top card. Yeah. Opponent's having a big turn here. Okay, 1 card in hand. This one, basically always banishing a card, but I think we can just block with this. See what the pump is. They may just be getting hat cards off us and be very happy about it. Just Gonna send a big 10 overpowered, and we're just gonna hopefully chain those for a couple of turns now. It's actually an argument for us just setting up King Shark Harpoon. Yeah, we're gonna do that. So we'll Arsenal King Shark Harpoon. I don't think we're in the gold baited hook zone yet. Like I said, he's just got too many D-reacts for us to risk this card. Once we get down to probably low teens, we'll start risking the gold baited hook just to take cards out of his hand and set us up for that end game kill. Probably just going sword 5 with this hand, but no D-reacts again. And I think we're happy to take the 6 and just send back. Probably with the cheating scoundrel, send 13 back. Got to be careful on the amount of. He's banished a lot of blues, weirdly, so our ratios are probably quite off now. There's another blue. And here we're not going to. Again, I think about the hook every turn, just whether it's the right time or not. The nice thing about King Shark, and he's the first one we've seen, is they really blunt his offense if they put any points of damage through. Arakni relies on a lot of 0 and 1 cost like attacks that take cards out of your hand. Alright, well he's going to be able to CNC Urds for 6, but if we take the surgical, take away his blue, and then we'll just set up the pitch deck still. I think here, again, it's always tricky to take the damage, but we're going to be going back with a big harpoon. We're probably in the gold bait every turn era of our game. We really wish this was a King Shark harpoon, but that is what it is. Yeah, we'll take the 6. Okay, let's draw. We're actually going to pass on that now. We are going to flip it to the King Shark Harpoon. I don't love discarding cards to my codex, but just being able to take our opponent off. Do we want the King Shark or do we want to destroy the Arsenal? He's going to get an attack back. Arsenal's definitely not sending lethal though. I guess the King Shark's not sending lethal either. We're going to take the Arsenal destruction one. This is definitely a turn we wish we had one of the +1 pumps. Or +3 pumps. Also kind of regretting not blocking with this, but didn't know we were going to draw the codex off the top. Could have played a much safer turn where we just send this and Arsenal the codex. Want to undo this and activate hook first. Another CNC gone. Oh, well, we knew we put that back in there. Just need to pay attention more. Yellow fins. We are going to put this in. CNC is interesting. So, I think we finally give up the armor here. And then next turn, we're going to activate the harpoon, play a cheeky scoundrel, send a yellow fin, which isn't great, but I think keeping our life total high. Assassin's got a lot of ways to quickly end the game, so we've got a 5 gold stack as well, so we can definitely, block out quite heavily on a turn and then just gamble on gaining 3 or 4 resources off these gold tokens. We can start now working out what we're through. So Codex is down. All 3 king harpoons, 1 shark. This was probably another gold baited hook turn, but we're not going to undo. Especially once your opponent starts thinking about it, it gets kind of cheeky to undo, but yeah. As you can probably tell, I'm always thinking about when to hook. Okay, we've got his chest here. 6 block, the shred was free. Oh, he fully blocked us out and gained a life. That's a nice turn for our opponent. He's only going to send 1 card back at us, which... oh, he does have the gold. Always one to watch out for with Cheating Scoundrel. What's he coming in with? So what are we looking at sending next turn? I think we're probably doing what I was talking about earlier and just cycling a lot of gold. We've got 1 King Shark over here. So yeah, we're going to pass the turn here. We're just going to take the 4. We know we can't get killed. He's going to mill 2 cards off the top. We are getting somewhat lower on cards. But let's start our gold cycle. Okay, catch the day's good. We're not going to load this yet. We've got take aim in our hand to load. Ideally, what we want to do is get to a point where, okay, there's the 3 of a kind. We're now going to play both buffs. And then play 3 of a kind. Okay. Do think it's important we get the extra power. This will be sending 15, which means he needs at least 1 D-React, probably 2 to live. And we can Arsenal this, which means we probably only need to keep 2 cards in our hand for the send back. So, yeah. Activate the harpoon. Definitely activate hook here. Now the real question is do we activate quiver on the back end? Okay, we didn't need to. We actually managed to get the game. He had no D-Reacts. Just have a quick look in his deck. We didn't actually see any sinks or shelters. There are 3 sink belows, but no shelters. 3 hunt the hunted we managed to avoid. This card can really get you if it hits one of your, like the King Shark Harpoon. Fun game though. Yeah, let's move on to number 3. Okay guys, our final game, we've got Ira. Sure what Ira's doing these days. We're going to play these tar pit traps because they're just often quite good into Ninja. Probably cut the golden tips. I like to keep ratios in terms of colors pretty similar. Yeah. already got a bit of a weird hand. Definitely taking this first Kodachi. Blood spattered vest. Got the iris bloom. Just gonna start blocking now. Don't want to lose too much health for no reason. Always horrible when you have to block Sunken Treasure and don't get gold. Okay, probably just double block this. Ira's always one of those decks that gets the most out of her turn ones with these Kodachis. Interesting hand. Well, let's do the standard make a gold. We get to play big game trophy with this. We'll discard this and load a bluefin harpoon. It's a nice draw off the top. The drill shot wouldn't have been bad, but a little 12 overpower. We get to hook for free because of the riches. Now, if this hits and it hits a blue in his hand, we'll get 1 gold from this, 1 gold from this, 1 gold for hitting the blue, and we'll basically be set for gold for the rest of the game. And the one thing about having a big stack of gold is, and like I said in previous games, you get to just start more aggressively hooking because you're less worried about losing the hook. Probably means in the next couple of turns we want to get some tokens. Alright, we've got a pummel E-strike. I imagine this is going to lead to an E-strike for 7. We still managed to get up to 3 gold, which is good. E-strike for 7. So next turn we're going to go draw. In fact, we're not even going to draw. We're going to take aim, load this, send it for a 12 overpowered. We're just going to take the 7. And this is why I like take aim over the other buffs. It just saves us gold, reduces risk in the deck. We're not going to hook. I know I said I wanted to be aggressive about it, but there's just no need here. Now, depending on what our opponent's arsenal is, they can, you know, potentially keep a 4-card hand here and send back a lot more value than 12. Okay, blocking 7. Wasn't a great arsenal. They're actually probably kind of happy I cleared that out for them, but Warmonger's Diplomacy. Now this is a card you have to watch out for. It really stops you doing a lot of stuff with this deck. It can be bad for them if you just got an arrow loaded in your arsenal already. Alright, Amnesia. This is a card I haven't seen in a hot moment. When this is a hero, cards and tokens they own lose and can't gain names until the start of your next turn. I guess that stops harpoons. I'm not 100% sure. Don't really want to get hit with it either way. I think I will just do this as a block out. Oh, let me do this properly. I always forget that this one's only blocking 2. I think we're still going to load the Goldfin Harpoon. Don't want to get trapped with this. We get to gold the tip to give it +3. To use this. Take this off here. And send. Not an amazing turn, but you know, even our bad turns are sending 9 overpowered to generate a gold. We'll generate 2 gold this turn. It did cost us 2 gold, so kind of evens itself back out. But when you're racing your opponent, just having access to these harpoons, even if you rarely send them, just, yeah, comes around. Some of the best art Marlin. I recently picked up the Marvel and yeah, enjoy playing with it quite a lot. This is an interesting hand. A raised face. This is a really telegraph pummel here. Tempted just to block 9. Don't know if I want to block 9. I think we block 6, generate a couple of gold, let our opponent pummel us and take the bluefin harpoon, and then we just arsenal the cheating scoundrel for the following turn. It's not great, but we get to keep our life total ahead, and if they don't have the pummel, we're just going to set up another, soft kind of harpoon turn. But I presume we're getting pummeled here. We don't really have like really nice blocks to get around it, so yeah, I think we just take our gold, have a pretty bad turn cycle. Please comment down below if you would do this turn differently. I think this is one of the more interesting. It's just such a weird turn from our opponent just to send the erase face. Like, it's got to be a pummel is the only thing that makes sense. Okay, we're getting flick knifed, so he's going to arsenal a card as well. Great line from our opponent. I guess he's probably got pickup sticks to get his Kodachis back if they die. Haven't seen those yet, but it's a red pummel, yeah. So 4 and discard. And kind of take a turn off for me. He's kind of doing the Marlin thing back to us. Said before, I'm not sure how bad a race face is, but it's interesting he's playing so many 2-block effects like this. Other option there for me was to arsenal this bluefin harpoon. Pummel Ira. But so many 2-blocks. We've seen rainbow pummels, erase faces. Is amnesia a 3-block or a 2-block? Let's have a look. It's a 3-block at least. Okay, this is a hand that we would not want to block on as long as our opponent isn't sending huge amounts. He seems like a Kodachi, send some kind of 2-cost disruption effect, and then use pummels to back it up. Although we have seen some flying kicks for big damage. Okay, he's got rid of Warmongers again. We don't mind not getting hit with Warmongers. Okay, flying kick. Presume our opponent's going to Snapdragon this, build out a real turn, although this costs 2, so won't. A pummel here, not the worst for us. Probably just going to lose this murderous rabble at this point. We've got 6 gold, so we're really able to draw out of these kind of awkward hands. Let's make our harpoon. Play our cheating scoundrel. Are we still... Don't know if we've got space this turn to do this big game trophy shot, but we've made our harpoon now, so we kind of have to. Oops, didn't mean to do this. Let me go back. Hopefully our opponent catches it before we draw. Okay, this isn't great for us. Could discard this cheating scoundrel, load this, send in a huge amount, but we really want to disrupt our opponent here. We're probably going to lose way too much gold if we go the other way around it though, so... This is, we spoke about this earlier, kind of when you gamble hands. You're probably not supposed to gamble. We could have played this hand very safe and just sent a kind of red fin harpoon for 11. We are going to activate hook because we are just in that point of the game now where we would like to take cards off our opponent. 5-card hands from Ira can be very scary, especially with these Snapdragon Scalers, Iris and Blossom. I mean, unless he's got a pump, we're never letting the Iris hit, but or the Whirling. So this will be going for not 13, it's plus 11. So yeah, no, actually 13. The problem is it's 13 without any real on hit. So I mean, it's gained 3 gold on hit, which is nice. But our opponent's probably happy to go down to 7 here, especially if they can send back 17. We do have a couple of points of armor, but one of the worst parts about Ranger is their kind of armor suite. Okay, they're taking it all. Oh no, so instead of shelter, double shelter. That's actually good for us. His 3-card hands are way less scary than 5. Like I said, we weren't presenting a particularly threatening on here. Whereas now, the best on hit we have is now in our hands, so always just taking this one. Amnesia again. I'm really not sure how this card works against us. Guess we can't gain Harpoon Word, which is kind of nasty. I think we do something like this. Okay. We're actually just going to try and brute force through here with gold. We'll take this off. We're 1 gold short, or 1 resource short, so okay, we've managed to burn through a lot of gold and not hit what we needed. So we are just going to send this now for 9. We will hook. As I said, our opponent can just block this out, but 9's a lot, and if they give us 3 cards or 2 cards in their armor, the best situation here is him having 4 attack actions in hand. They've played a pretty good mix so far from what we've seen. We know they've pitched down 2 Warmongers. They could just have a D-React or a Pummel. As I said, we've seen Rainbow Pummels, so yeah. We took the 3 cards and some armor. We do lose our hook here, and we've gone very low on gold. Took some big gambles there, didn't pay off for us. If we'd drawn one of these, it probably would have been okay. CNC. I think us getting King Shark on him with this will actually be better for us. So I'm actually going to let him blow up our arsenal here. We're not going to take another big risk because we really don't want to miss sending this next turn for 12 and being able to take 2 attack actions out of his hand. So yeah. CNC weirdly a double-edged sword in this scenario for our opponent that he's not aware of. So we'll play Catch of the Day. 3 of a kind. Okay, this worked out great for us. Load this. And then we send the big shark. Thinking about it, we've seen 2 CNCs, so we will put this trap in our arsenal. Traps are obviously quite risky. In Ranger, could also just shuffle back a few harpoons here. We'll take a think. We'll have a look at his hand first, see what's going on. Make sure he's coming back at us in some way. Could see a couple of D-reacts here. At least one. Okay, he did have all D-reacts, which means we don't want to put this in our arsenal. It's very likely our opponent doesn't attack us. So we'll close the chain. And then we'll quiver. Well, he's likely to put something back in his arsenal. We love this harpoon. And then Redfin probably blunts his offense enough. Again, we get to just... Oh, whether we draw or not is an interesting conundrum. I don't think we do. We don't want to waste our gold here. Yeah, we'll just send this for 10. We'll only take 1 card here, but again, taking 1 card out of our opponent's hand could really stop them sending 10 back at us next turn. Also got the Frailty, which stops this Kodachi being useful. Oh, a little overpowered, gets his 4 block, which is always nice. He's got another D-react. We get to take... I guess we take the Feign. We're not too worried about this. Worst case scenario. More Arsenal, that Catch of the Day. He strike out the Arsenal. Okay, we probably want to block 3 here. Play this Catch. It's whether how greedy we want to get in terms of... it's quite low. This yellow isn't the best for us. I think we are going to go maximum greed. We'll just block with this. We'll play Catch the Day. Need to get that out of our arsenal. And then... Okay. Redfin Harpoon, pretty good. Okay, we're 1 resource short, so we're going to go fishing again. Obviously, this hasn't worked out great, and if you are going to go fishing, you should never arsenal this, because there's a good chance you just draw a red off the top, like that. Although this is obviously one of the best reds you can draw. But again, we would have got into these big harpoons that really put the hurting on our opponent. We are going to use Tunic here to get to keep our big king Shark Harpoon, and then next turn we've got a nice 3 card 10. So Redfin probably takes the block cards he needs to really hurt us. Yeah, there goes a Weakest Link. Not the best against us, but oh, we got another Weakest Link, and he's got 5 damage he can send back. Kind of a wild... put Rich on the bottom. It's unlikely we get back to that cycle, but... Okay. we're going to see this for one. Maybe I think he just sends 5 here. Yeah. Are we taking any risk if we... I think our 13 overpower is probably good enough to get him. Probably give him this. In fact, we can just block with that next turn. It's just whether we risk our 3 of a kind. It could draw triple red. It's very unlikely. Yeah, I think we just play it slightly safe. Opponent's also shown us quite a few D-reacts at this point. So we're going to take aim. There you go. Switch those around. And then, yeah, send this. Put this king crack in our arsenal. But he needs 8 block here. He's obviously got 1 from the chest. Could have a couple of D-reacts. Not sure how many we're through, but like I've said, you just need to keep an eye on these. Got through 5 already. It's likely he's definitely playing at least 1 more sync. So he'd need... Yep, there's the sync. If he had one of those fearless confrontations, he could be reducing our hit down. Oh, he had 2 D-reacts, so he did actually manage to block us out and only take 1 here. Potentially we get a card out of his hand. Another deck playing 9 D-reacts. They are rife at the moment. But if they pair into something like that spell Verdance we had earlier, whole different experience. So we'll arsenal this. Alright, now we're in the end game that you can see where it's just, if our opponent doesn't get to keep cards, they don't get to interact with these kind of giant harpoons. Yeah, and he could have the final 2, I think it was Fate for Scenes we saw last hand. There's 1, 2 Fates, 2 Sinks, 3 Shelters. Could have the final 2 D-reacts to live again, but we've set up a Codex. Okay. 7, he'd be taking 5. And there you go. Yeah, these matchups, super fun, and one of the reasons to play the deck, to be honest. Yeah, you can kind of see from my stats, I think we're up to 34-ish games now. Sorry, stats, yeah, 34 games. We're sitting around a 74% win ratio. These are just against people on Talishar. Yeah, looking down further, we've gone one-on-one into Mario. That was against Kashi, one of the best Mario players, basically. So it's an interesting matchup. Certainly a lot harder because they don't have that many attack actions or non-attack actions, and you've got to really line up your arrows at the right time. But when they do land, it's hard for any deck to kind of compete with Marlyn. The other deck I've been struggling with and seen a lot on the ladder is Bolton. So we'll potentially do a video playing Bolton in the next few weeks and show you how that works. But thanks a lot for watching, guys. Yeah, I'll be back soon.